Hi everyone, welcome back to Beyond Studio Pilates. My name's Hannah and today I want to take you through an advanced mat work session. This is going to look at strengthening your core and your legs. Let's get going. Making sure your feet are hip distance apart in line with your knees and your hips or ribs are in line with your hips. Little gap remains under that low back. And then you're just going to bring your palms up so they're next to your body, and we're just going to do a really little movement but really lovely one for your lower back. So I want you to really focus on that core and pelvic floor connection, and then you're just going to slowly slide one hip down towards your ankle, so left hip to left ankle, and then back to the middle, and then right hip to right ankle, and then back to the middle. So we're just going to go left to left, right to right. Really focus on that pelvic floor and core connection. And do 3 more to each side. Slowly sliding your hip down towards your heel. Everything else stays nice and connected. So this is really lovely for your lower back. Final one to each side. And then come back to the middle. From here, you're going to bring both legs into your tabletop position. Make sure your knees are over your hips, feet and shins are parallel with the ceiling. From here, you're going to take your knees out to the side and bring your toes together, or your feet together. Core engaged, rib to hip connection, pelvic floor on. We're just going to dip those toes down to the floor, keeping hold of that core. Make sure your belly doesn't dome and your back doesn't arch. And then just going to slowly bring those feet back into your tabletop, making sure you don't bring them in too far and you're not pushing down on the floor. So hands palm up to stop you pushing into the floor. Making pelvic floor engaged, core is on, and you're just dipping your toes down a little bit like you're dipping them into a pool of water. Moving from your hips, making sure that back doesn't arch, belly doesn't dome, really working into those low core fibers here. Think about breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. This one really makes my legs shake, but I'm not quite sure why. I think it must be the positioning. Anybody else got shaky legs? Let me know. And do 3 more here. Pelvic floor on, rib to hip connection. Just moving from your hip. Check in with that back. Make sure you're not pushing it into the mat. Palms up so you're not pushing down with your hands. Final one. And then bring your knees together, feet to the floor. I'm going to move on to a hip roll. So from here, core engaged, rib to hip connection, keeping your shoulder blades on the floor. You're just going to roll your hips over to the left hand side. You're going to straighten out that right leg and then come back to the middle, and then bring that right foot back to the floor. Pelvic floor on, rib to hip over to the right hand side. Check in with those shoulder blades. They've got to stay on the floor. Bring that left leg up, back to the middle. Keeping your movement nice and slow and controlled. Just check in with that rib to hip. Make sure that the bottom of your rib cage is still in line with the top of your hips. You're not jutting those ribs forward. And that as you roll to the side, you're only going as far as you can keep those shoulder blades on the ground. Pelvic floor on. A slow, controlled movement. And do 3 more to each side. Just rolling through those hips, lifting that leg and then coming back to the middle. Final 2. Keeping hold of that core and pelvic floor. Shoulder blades remain on the floor. Final 1 to each side. And final 1. And then coming back to the middle and giving yourself a full body stretch. Okay, from here, if you have got a band, just bringing yourself back up to sitting, and you're going to, if you've got a loop band, you can just put that on. If you've got a band that you need to tie, you're going to tie the band in a bow about a hand's width away from your knees. So from here, coming back down onto our backs, having your feet hip distance apart if you can. If not, if it's because the band's too tight and you can't, then just have your feet and your knees in alignment. Rib to hip connection, pelvic floor on. We're going to do shoulder bridge. So you're bringing your hands down to your sides, taking an inhale here. Think wide thoracic breath, and then as you exhale, we're going to slowly roll up through each vertebrae one at a time until you get to the top. Think rib to hip connection, pelvic floor on, making sure you're in your ski slope position and the weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck. Holding it here for an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly, with control, rolling yourself back to the mat. Remember, your pelvis stays up for as long as possible. And then rolling back into your neutral. This time we're going to add on some pulses higher. So we're taking an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll up. And then we're going to pulse higher for 5. So we're pushing higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Check in with that rib to hip. And then slowly down. Coming back into your neutral, take an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly back up into your bridge position, and we're going to do 5 more pulses higher from here. So we're going higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here, inhale. Exhale down. Coming back into your neutral, take an inhale. And then exhale back up. Okay, so from the top, this time we're going to push our knees out to the side. So if you have the band, you're really resisting the band in and out. If you don't have the band, I just want you to imagine that you're really pushing your knees out into something hard, and then you're squeezing a big spring back together. So it's hard work each way, really pushing those knees out and then squeezing them back together. Check in that you don't drop your hips. So think about keeping that pelvis lifted, rib to hip connection, pelvic floor on. So we're going to go out, hold it for an inhale. Then exhale back in. Inhale out. Exhale back in. Inhale out. Exhale back in. Inhale out. And exhale back in. One more, inhale out. And exhale back in. Hold for an inhale. Slowly exhale. Back to the floor. Okay, do one more like this. So taking an inhale at the bottom. And then exhale slowly back up to the top of your bridge. Holding it there, rib to hip connection. So we're going to inhale out. And then exhale back in. Inhale out. And then exhale back in. Final two. Final one. Holding it here for an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly back to the mat. When you get to the floor, just undoing or taking your band off your legs, if you can. Thanks for joining my advanced mat work session today. I hope you found it really beneficial. Check out my playlist for other videos you can do from wherever you are, whenever you like, and please hit subscribe if you're enjoying these workouts. Take care, and I'll see you on a mat again very soon. Bye for now.